couple of friends, just a little update on my reading list. Read a couple more. Let's keep this thing moving. Let me tell you about some books. Okay, first one I read was Tibor Fischer's Thought Gang. I like this one a lot. Very much reminiscent of, it's on the blurb on the back from Tom Robbins. Very much vibed Tom Robbins. This one is about a failure of a philosopher named Eddie Coffin, who basically in his malaise of never producing anything, never being interested enough in anything, meets a one-armed hustler guy named Hubert, and they end up on a quest of robbing banks. And it's very much in the Tom Robbins, Vonnegut, that certain era of Pynchon, the kind of more madcap adventure-y ones, vibe very much like that. So if you like that era of Pynchon, Tom Robbins, that kind of era, the less sci-fi, more madcap-y Vonneguts, I'd give this one a shot. So this one had been sitting on the shelf for quite a while, and I'm probably without the 150 I wouldn't have gotten to it right away. But this one, I don't know if anybody's talking about Tibor Fischer these days, but if you like that vein, like it's very much smart, but very quick and readable, and almost too witty for its own good in a lot of senses. But I need a name for that genre of book. Those Edward Whittemore ones that I'd read recently in that genre, definitely those Jim Dodge ones, if you ever track those down, those are in that vein. I need a name for this genre of sort of like smart, whip crack, witty, but kind of like sarcastic adventure type books as well. Maybe someone has a good name for that genre, but this fit well alongside those. Thought it was pretty good. Thought Gang by Tibor Fischer. And then alongside it, I read Goethe's Sorrows of Young Werther. Kind of fascinated with this one. Very much interested in sort of like early instances of youth movements in previous centuries. In the news, pretty recently, there's all the copycat suicides prompted by 13 Reasons Why, the novel, and even more so the TV show. Kind of similarly to, Kurt Cobain, like the wake of copycat suicides that came out of that. Apparently, the legend of Werther in particular, I don't know, maybe the introduction assures us it wasn't true, but sort of the sorrows and melancholy of our protagonist and his subsequent suicide at not being able to have the woman he loves definitely prompted a huge following and fan base. So 1700s this was written, but very interesting in the notion that youth movements still existed from way back when. So even if the introduction tells us that maybe the notion of the Werther effect, the copycatness of an influx of suicides that happened at the release and popularity of this book, maybe not as valid as the legends say, but definitely I gotta find which book it was. It was an Elliot Weinberger book, and he talks about the movement of people dressing like Werther, in his blue overcoat, almost as a pre-emo swoop hair, pre-goth type signal as youth culture to dress moodily and in reference to something else. To a modern reader, this might be a little overwrought, a little maudlin. Certainly, there's so many instances of him being just like overcome with emotion, and just tears filling his eyes, and you know, overly romantic. But you know, maybe a lot of that trope came from this kind of book, the tortured artist of the unrequited love. Uh, may have originated here, but certainly smart, certainly well written. To my 21st century take of this type of psychology, you know, move on, homie. Uh, find find a new hobby. Uh, there's other girls out there, you know. There's other things to do with your time than taking your life. But happy I read it, nevertheless.
Dictionary of Imaginary Places, Alberto Manguel. Landscape with T, Milorad Pavic.
You're right here. Oh. You're right here. Alright, these are the two I got here. Kind of like what I was saying with my what I deem my imaginary cities genre. These kind of fit perfectly in place. So I think this is a lot of it here. This is obviously not quite the type of book I would read for this selection all that often, but it's kind of more of a reference coffee table book. So we'll see if I actually like read it front to cover, front to back. But I'll definitely go through it. I don't know why I kind of put this on the list. Kind of not quite the book that can be read as such for this type of project. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it will actually just you know, inform my reading a little bit more. These Alberto Manguel ones are just like really nice. I think there's another similar kind of fantasy-esque reference one that he does. I've read a couple of his books of essays and things like that. I read his Borges bio or whatever, and they're very cool. So there's a lot of he's as a, kind of more known as an Alberto Manguel is largely more known as an editor. Some very great collections of surrealist and like Central South American literature as well. Really great collections of stuff. So as an editor, does the stuff. So I think as someone who really knows the stuff, this will be a fun one. I don't know if this is track downable for anyone out there, but in terms of my genre of invisible cities, I think that's like a prime piece of it. And then speaking of what I call that genre, Milorad Pavic's Landscape Painted with T. I've read his other one, Dictionary of the Khazars, very much in that vein, very Calvino, Borges-esque. So just happy to get to this one in the meantime. I don't know the plot of this one in particular, but it sounds cool. So I'm gonna get to this pretty quick. This was a very quick video. I was just doing 2 in a row, and that made it go quick. I didn't read any from the list in the meanwhile as well, but hopefully I've got some good summer reading coming up. Keep your reading up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully tell me about some cool stuff you find, and come visit the shed. The stock is really good right now. Come check it out. See you later.